Hello friends, welcome to Infinite Coaching Classes. In today's video, we are going to discuss the different previous year prelims questions that were being asked on the Indian polity and the previous year UPSC exams. Okay, so basically this is the second part of our video, and in the first part we have already discussed the questions from the year 2019 to 2015, and in this part we are going to discuss questions on from the year 2014 to 2010. Okay, so please watch this video till the end so that you can get some quite useful informations. Okay, so let's get started friends. Moving on to the first questions of this video. So consider the following statements. That is, first statement says the President shall make rules for the more convenient transactions of the business of the Government of India and for the allocation among ministers of the state businesses. Okay, and as far as the second statement says, all executive actions of the Government of India shall be expressed to be taken in the name of the Prime Minister. So which of these given statements is there correct? Okay, so options are only one, only two, both one and two, or neither one nor two. So the answer for this is option number A, that is only the first statement is correct, only one, and the second statement is incorrect. This is because all the executive actions of the Government of India that shall be expressed is to be taken in the name of the President. It's not Prime Minister, that's why it's incorrect. It should be President. Okay, moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding a no confidence motion in India. Okay, so the statements are: there is no mention of a no confidence motion in the Constitution of India. A motion of no confidence can be introduced in the Lok Sabha only. Okay, which of these following statements is or are correct? Options are only one, only two, both one and two, or neither one nor two. So the answer is option number C, that is both one and two. Okay, all these statements mentioned above are correct. Let's see the next question. The power of the Supreme Court of India to decide disputes between the center and the states falls under its which of these following jurisdictions? Okay, so options are advisory jurisdictions, appellate jurisdiction, original jurisdiction, or writ jurisdiction. Okay, so the answer is option number C, that is original jurisdiction. This was a direct straightforward questions because all the disputes that is between the center and the states, it comes under the original jurisdictions of the Supreme Court. Okay, let's see the next question. The power to increase the number of judges in the Supreme Court of the India is vested in. So who has the power to decide the strength of the judges of the Supreme Court? That is, options are the President of India, the Parliament, the Chief Justice of India, or the Law Commission. So answer is option number B, that is the Parliament. The Parliament decides the strength or the number of judges of the Supreme Court in India. Okay, next question. Which of the following is the largest committee of the Parliament? Okay, as far as the different committees of the Parliament are concerned, which one is the largest one? That is the Committee on Public Accounts, the Committee on Estimates, the Committee on Public Undertakings, or the Committee on Petitions. Okay, so the answer is option B, that is the Committee on Estimates. So basically this committee consists of 30 members and which are being elected by the Lok Sabha every year from among its members. Okay, and the Committee on Public Undertakings consists of 15 members elected by the Lok Sabha and 7 members of the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so Committee on Public Accounts, it basically consists of 15 members similarly, and the Committee on Petitions also consists of 15 members. Okay, that's why the correct answer is the Committee on Estimates. Let's see the next question. With reference to the Indian budget, which of the following is there covered under the non-plan expenditure? Okay, so the statements are defense expenditure, interest expenditure, salaries and pensions, or subsidies. So select the correct answer using the codes given below. So options are only 1, 2 and 3, all of these or none of these. Okay, so according to the non-plan expenditure, which of these following are being covered in the union budget? Okay, so the answer is option C, that is all of this, that is defense, interest payments, salaries and pensions, subsidies, all these are being included in the non-plan expenditure of the Indian budget. Okay, next question. Which of the following schedules of the Constitution of India contains provisions regarding anti-defection? Okay, so as far as the anti-defection law is concerned, which of these schedules contains the provisions for it? Okay, so the options are second schedule, fifth schedule, 8th schedule, or the 10th schedule. So friends, this is also a direct forward question. Okay, so if you know it, you can answer it directly. So the answer is option number D, that is the 10th schedule. This question has been asked quite a very few times in the prelims exams. Okay, in different years. So this is an important topic. Okay, so next question. In the Constitution of India, promotion of international peace and security is included in which of the following? That is the preamble of the Constitution, directive principles of state policy, fundamental duties, or the 9th schedule. So answer is option number B, that is directive principle of state policy. So in the PSP, it is being instructed to the government or to the state to provide for the promotion of the international peace and security of the country. Okay, next question. Which of the following are associated with the planning in India? So the options are the Finance Commission, the National Development Council, the Union Ministry of Rural Development, the Indian Ministry of Urban Development, or the Parliament. So the codes have been given like this, like 1, 2 and 5, 1, 3 and 4, 2 and 5, or all of these. Okay, so the answer is option number C, that is 2 and 5. Okay, so basically the National Development Council and the Parliament are being involved or associated with the planning in India. Okay, because as we know that 5-year plan is in India, which is passed through the various department councils or bodies, etc., and the draft plan was used to prepare, is being used to prepare by the Planning Commission. Okay, then it was used to pass by the Union Cabinet for approval. Okay, so once it is being approved by the Cabinet, it is passed to the National Development Council, and at last the approval of NDC is sent to the Parliament for the approval. That's why the NDC and the Parliament are being involved in it. Next question. Which of the following is the functions of the Cabinet Secretariat? So they are preparation of agenda for Cabinet meetings, secretarial assistance to Cabinet committees, allocations of financial resources to the ministries. Okay, so among this, which is the correct code for it? That is only 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 2, or all of this. So answer is option number C, that is 1 and 2. The preparation of agenda for Cabinet meetings and the secretarial assistance to Cabinet committees. These are the main functions of the Cabinet Secretariat. Next question. Consider the following statements. So first it says a constitutional government is one which places effective restriction on individual liberty in the interest of the state authority, places effective restriction in the authority of the state in the interest of individual liberty. So which of these above statement is correct? Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. So the answer is option number B, that is only the second statement is correct, because a constitutional government is the one which provides different rights, different liberties, or which protects an individual liberties and does not provide restrictions upon it. So that's why the first statement is incorrect and the second one is only correct. Okay, so because a constitutional government provides or it protects the liberties of an individual, it does not restrict it. Okay, next question. Which of the following are the discretionary power given to the governor of a state? So the statements are sending a report to the President of India for imposing the President's rule, appointing the ministers, is being changed, certain bills passed by the state legislature for consideration of the President of India, making the rules to conduct the business of the state government. So which one is the correct answer for this? Options are 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 2, 3 and 4, or all of these. So the answer is option number B, that is 1 and 3. Only the first and third statement are correct. And as far as the second statement is concerned, the governor does not appoint the ministers, and he does not make the rules to conduct the business of a state government. Okay, moving on to the next question. What will follow if a money bill is substantially amended by the Rajya Sabha? Okay, so options are the Lok Sabha may still proceed with the bill accepting or not accepting the recommendation of the Rajya Sabha. The Lok Sabha cannot consider the bill further. The Lok Sabha may send the bill to the Rajya Sabha for reconsideration, or the President may call a joint sitting for passing the bill. So the answer is option number A, that is the Lok Sabha will still proceed with the bill accepting or not accepting the recommendation of Rajya Sabha. Okay, because if a money bill is amended by the Rajya Sabha, then the Lok Sabha has the power to accept its recommendation or the changes, and also it can reject it. Okay, so it depends upon the Lok Sabha, so whether in which way it wants to introduce the bill. Next question. Which of the following statement is correct? In India, the same person cannot be appointed as governor for 2 or more states at the same time. The judges of the High Court and the states in India are appointed by the governor of the state, just as the judges of Supreme Court are appointed by the president. No procedure has been laid down in the Constitution of India for the removal of a governor from his or her post. In case of the Union Territory having legislative setup, the chief minister is appointed by the lieutenant governor on the basis of majority support. So of these 4 options, which one is the correct statement? So the answer is option number C, that is no procedures has been laid down in the Constitution of India for the removal of governor from his or her post. Okay, because a governor ordinarily has a tenure of 5 years, but he can be removed any time before that if the president wishes. Okay, so that's the correct statement. Next question. With reference to the Indian history, the members of the Constituent Assembly from the provinces were, what were they done? Directly elected by the people of those provinces, nominated by the Indian National Congress and the Muslim League, elected by the Provincial Legislative Assembly, selected by the government for the expertise in constitutional matters. So the answer is Option number C, that is elected by the provincial legislative assembly. As far as the constituent assembly, the members of the constituent assembly from the provinces were concerned, they were being elected by the provincial legislative assemblies directly. Okay, so this is also a direct question. Next question. Consider the following statements. An amendment to the Constitution of India can be initiated by the introduction of a bill in the Lok Sabha only. If such an amendment seeks to make changes in the federal characters of the Constitution, the amendment also requires to be ratified by the legislature of all states of India. So which of the following statements given above are correct? Okay, so options are only one, only two, both one and two, or neither one nor two. So the answer is option number D, that is neither one nor two. None of these statements is correct, because if we consider the first statement, it is incorrect because a constitutional amendment can be initiated in any house of the parliament. Okay, and as far as the statement 2 is also incorrect, this is because if certain federal features of the constitution are to be amended, then apart from parliamentary approval, they require to be ratified by the legislatures of the half of the states. Okay, so also we know that the constitutional amendment bill do not require prior approval of the president, and they cannot be passed by joint sitting of both the houses of the parliament. Okay, so that's why both the statements are incorrect. Next question. Consider the following statements. Attorney General of India can take part in the proceedings of the Lok Sabha, be a member of the committee of the Lok Sabha, speaker in the Lok Sabha, or vote in the Lok Sabha. So which of these statements given above are correct? Only 1, 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, or 1 and 3 only. So the answer is option number C, that is 1, 2 and 3. And the last statement, that is the voting process, it cannot be done by the Attorney General. Okay, so rest 3 statements are being correct. Okay, next question. Which of the following bodies do not find mention in the Constitution? Okay, so the bodies are National Development Council, Planning Commission, Journal Council. So of these 3, which is not being mentioned in the Constitution? So the options are 1 and 2, only 2, 1 and 3, or all of these. Okay, so the answer is all of this. So none of these bodies is being mentioned in the Constitution. Okay, the Planning Commission and the National Development Council are not even statutory bodies, and have been set by executive orders basically in the year 1950 and 52. Okay, 1950 and 1952 respectively. And as far as the zonal councils are concerned, these are the statutory bodies and were set up under the State Recognition Act in the year 1956. Okay, so none of this is being a constitutional body. Next question. The Parliament can make any law for the whole or any part of India for implementing international treaties with the consent of all states, with the consent of the majority of states, with the consent of the states concerned, or without the consent of any state. So the answer is without the consent of any state. So the Parliament has the power to make any law for the whole or even a part of India for implementing international treaties without consulting any of the states. Okay, next question. According to the Constitution of India, which of the following are fundamental for the governance of the country? Okay, so options are fundamental rights, fundamental duties, directive principles of state policies, fundamental rights and fundamental duties. So the answer is option C, that is directive principles of state policies. So basically the PSPs, which we call the guidelines for the state, or it will be the duty for the state to ensure that all the principles are being applied in the making of the laws. Okay, next question. The government enacted the Panchayat extension to the scheduled areas PESA Act in the 1996. Which one of the following is not identified as its objective? So which one of these following is not the objective of the Panchayat extension to scheduled areas Act? Okay, PESA Act. So the options are to provide self-governance, to recognize traditional rights, to create autonomous region, or to free tribal people from exploitations. So the answer is option number C, that is to create autonomous region. Okay, so basically, as we know, the PESA Act was being enacted before the provisions under the 73rd and 74th Amendment Acts did not automatically extend the 5th scheduled areas, but it was meant to provide institutional of local self-government in the scheduled areas. The Act was mainly made to recognize the traditional rights to the tribals. Thus, so both A and B are correct. Okay, and as far as this option C is concerned, it is incorrect. This is because this does not allow to have any provisions of creating any autonomous region. Yeah. So that's why it is incorrect. Next question. Under the Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Recognition of Forest Right Act 2006, who shall be the authority to initiate the process of determining the nature and extent of individual or community forest rights of both? Okay, so options are State Forest Department, District Collector, Deputy Commissioner, Tahsildar, Block Development Officer, or Mandal Revenue Officer, or Gram Sabha. So the answer is option number D, that is the Gram Sabha. Okay, so this act covers a wide range of individual and community rights. Okay, so under section 6 of this act, the Gram Sabha has been given the authority to initiate the process of determining the nature and extent of this right. So the answer is Gram Sabha. Next question. Consider the following statements. The Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts consists of more than 25 members of the Lok Sabha, scrutinizes the appropriation and finance accounts of the government, examines the report of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India. So which of these statements is or are correct? Option are only 1, 2 and 3, only 3 or all of these. So answer is option number B, that is 2 and 3. This, as we know, the first statement is incorrect. This is because the Parliamentary Committee of Public Accounts, it consists of 15 members and not 25 members. Okay, out of those 15, okay, it's basically consists of 15 members from the Lok Sabha and 7 members from Rajya Sabha, and there is some total of 22 members. So that's why it's incorrect. Next question. In the context of India, which of the following of the principles is or are implied institutionally in the parliamentary government? That is, the members of cabinet are members of the parliament. Members who hold the office till they enjoy competence in the parliament. Cabinet is headed by the head of the state. So the codes for these are 1 and 2, only 3, 2 and 3, or all of these. Answer is option number A, that is 1 and 2. First and second statements are correct. And for this third statement, it is incorrect because a cabinet is not being headed by this, not being headed by the head of the state. Rather, it is being headed by the Prime Minister. And as we know, the head of the state is the President, so he is not the head of the cabinet. Rather, the Prime Minister is the head of the cabinet. Next question. Consider the following statement. The Council of Ministers in the central shall be collectively responsible to the Parliament. The Union Ministers shall hold the office during the pleasure of the President of India. The Prime Minister shall communicate to the President about the proposals for legislation. Of these three statements, which one is correct? Options are only 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, or all of these. So answer is option number B, that is 2 and 3. The first statement is incorrect. According to the Article 75, Clause 3 of the Constitution, the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha and not the Parliament. Okay, so that's why it's incorrect. Next question. Consider the following statements. National Development Council is an organ of the Planning Commission. The economic and social planning is kept in the concurrent list of the Constitution of India. The Constitution of India prescribes that panchayats should be assigned the task of preparation of plans for economic development and social justice. Okay, so which of these statements given above is correct? Only 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, or all of these. Okay, so the answer is option number B, that is 2 and 3. The first statement is incorrect for this because the NDC, which we call as National Development Council, is an advisory body to the Planning Commission and is not its organ. Okay, next question. Consider the following statements. The chairman and deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha are not the members of that house, while the nominated members of the two houses of the parliament have no voting rights in the presidential election. They have the right to vote in the election of the vice president. Which of the statements is correct? Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, or neither 1, not 2. So the answer is option number B, only 2. That is, only the second statement is correct. And the first statement is incorrect because only the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, that is the vice president, is not the member of the house, but the deputy chairman is the member of the Rajya Sabha and he is being elected from one of those. Okay, so that's why first statement is incorrect. Next question. Who among the following constitutes the National Development Council? Okay, that is the Prime Minister, the Chairman of Finance Commission, Minister of the Union Cabinet, or Chief Minister of the States. So the codes are 1, 2 and 3, 1, 3 and 4, 2 and 4, or all of this. So the answer is option will be, that is 1, 3 and 4. Okay, the Chairman of the Finance Commission is not a member of the National Development Council. Okay, rest 3 are its members. Next question. Economic justice as one of the objective of the Indian Constitution has been provided in which of these following? Okay, that is the preamble and the fundamental rights, the preamble and the directive principles of state policy, the fundamental rights and the directive principles of state policy, or none of these. So the answer is option B, that is the preamble and the directive principles of state policy constitute, or it contains the objective economic justice of the Constitution. Okay, so economic justice is one of the objectives is being mentioned in the preamble as well as in the UPSC. Okay, next question. What is the provisions to safeguard the autonomy of the Supreme Court of India? While appointing the Supreme Court judges, the President of India has to consult the Chief Justice of India. The Supreme Court judges can be removed by the Chief Justice of India only. The salaries of the judges are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, to which the legislature does not have to vote. All appointments of officials and staffs of the Supreme Court of India made by the government only after consulting the Chief Justice of India. So of these 4, which statements are correct? Options are 1 and 3, 3 and 4, only 4, or all of this. So the answer is option number A, that is first and the third statement are correct. Okay, and as far as the second statement is concerned, it's incorrect because the Supreme Court judges can only be removed by an order of the President after the address for such removal is being passed in both the houses, that is of the Parliament, with special majority. Okay, that's why the first statement is incorrect. And for the fourth statement, as per the Article 146 provides that salaries of judges are charged on the Consolidated Fund of India, and appointment of all staffs is also done by the Chief Justice of India only. Okay, next question. Which of the following is among the fundamental duties of citizens laid down by the Indian Constitution? This is also a direct question. If you know that about the fundamental duties of the citizens, then this will be a very direct question for you. So, to preserve the right heritage of our composite culture, to protect the weaker sections from social injustice, to develop the scientific temper and spirit of inquiry, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity. So, of these four, which one are the fundamental duties of citizens? 1 and 2, only 2, 1, 3 and 4, or all of these? So, the answer is 1, 3 and 4. Okay. So, the second statement that says to protect the weaker section from social injustice, this is not one of the fundamental rights that are being given to the citizens. So, next question. In the Parliament of India, the purpose of an adjournment motion is, so what is the basic purpose of an adjournment motion? To allow a discussion on a definite matter of urgent public importance, to let opposition member collect information from the ministers, to allow a reduction in the special amount in the demands for grants, or to postpone the proceedings to check the inappropriate or violent behavior on the part of some members. Okay, so the answer is option A, that is to allow a discussion on a definite matter of urgent public importance in adjournment motion is being passed. Next question. Consider the following provisions under the directive principles of state policy as enshrined in the Constitution of India. So, securing for citizens of India a uniform civil code, organizing village panchayats, promoting cottage industry in rural areas, securing for all the workers reasonable leisure and cultural opportunities. So, which of the above are the Gandhian principles that are reflected in the DPSPs? Okay, so options are 1, 2 and 4, 2 and 3, 1, 3 and 4, or all of these. The answer is option number B, that is second and third one, that is organizing village panchayats and promoting cottage industries in rural areas are based upon the Gandhian principles which are being mentioned in the directive principles of state policy. Moving on to the next question. Consider the following statements. Union territories are not represented in the Rajya Sabha. It is within the purview of the Chief Election Commissioner to adjudicate the election disputes. According to the Constitution of India, the Parliament consists of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha only. So, which of these above mentioned statements are correct? That is only 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, or none of this. So, answer is option number D, that is none of these statements mentioned above are correct, because as we know, the Rajya Sabha is composed of the representatives from both the states as well as the union territories, that is the 2 union territories of Delhi and Puducherry, and rest 12 members are being nominated by the President of India. The election disputes for the second statement, the election disputes are adjudicated by the special election benches designed for election petitions that should be formed in the High Court. Okay, and the Indian Parliament consists of the President of India, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Okay, that's why all the three statements are being incorrect. Next question. Which of the following provisions of the Constitution of India have a bearing on education? That is directive principle of state policies, rural and urban local bodies, 5th schedule, 6th schedule, 7th schedule. So the codes for these are 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5, 1, 2 and 5, or all of these. So the answer for this is option number C, that is 1, 2 and 5. Okay, so the first, that is the directive principles of state policy, rural and urban local bodies, and the 7th schedule. These three basically consist the provisions regarding the education. Okay, and the 5th and 6th schedule does not contain it, so it's incorrect. Next question. Which of the following are the methods of parliamentary controls over public finance in India? The statements are placing annual financial statements before the parliament, withdrawal of money from Consolidated Fund of India only after passing the appropriation bill, provisions of supplementary grants and vote on accounts, a period of at least a mid-year review of program in the government against macroeconomic forecast and expenditure by a parliamentary budget office, or introducing financial bill in the statements. So the codes are 1, 2, 3 and 5, 1, 2, 4, 3, 4, 5, or all of the above. So the answer is option number A, that is 1, 2, 3 and 5. These four are the basic methods of parliamentary control over the finance in India. Okay. Next question. Which of the following special powers have been conferred on the Rajya Sabha by the Constitution of India? So which of the special power does the Rajya Sabha contains? Okay. So to change the existing territory of a state and to change the name of a state. B, to pass a resolution empowering the parliament to make the laws of the state list and to create one or more all India services. C, to amend the constitution procedure of the president and to determine the president of pension of the president after his or her requirement. D, to determine the function of the election commission and to determine the number of election commissioners. Okay, so the answer for this is option number B, that is to pass a resolution empowering the parliament to make laws in the state list and to create one or more all India services. Moving on to the next question. Regarding the office of the Lok Sabha Speaker, consider the following statements. Okay. So the statements are: he or she holds the office during the pleasure of the president. He or she needs to be a member of the house at the time of his or her elections, but has to become a member of the house within 6 months from the date of his or her elections. If he or she intends to resign, the letter of his resignation has to be addressed to the deputy speaker. So which of the above mentioned statements is correct? 1 and 2, only 3, all of these, or none of these? So the answer is option number B, that is only 3. Only the third statement is being correct in this context regarding the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Okay, and as far as the first statement is concerned, it is incorrect. As we know, the House of the People, as soon as maybe after its first meeting, chooses the Speaker from among the members of the Houses as per the Article 93, and he also holds the office during the life of the House, but his office may terminate earlier in the following cases, like you can say by his or her ceasing to be the member of the House, by resignation in writing addressing to the deputy speaker, or by the removal from office by a resolution passed by the majority of the then members in the houses. Okay, next question. Which of the following are included in the original jurisdictions of the Supreme Court? A dispute between the government of India and one or more states, a dispute regarding elections to either houses of the parliament or that of a legislature of a state, a dispute between the government of India and a union territory, or a dispute between two or more states. So the answer, options are 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 1 and 4, or 3 and 4. So the answer is option number C, that is 1 and 4. That is a dispute regarding the government of India and one or more states, and a dispute between two or more states. These are being included in the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Next question. In India, other than ensuring public funds are used efficiently for intended purposes, what is the importance of the office of the Comptroller and Auditor General, or the CAG? Okay, so statement 1 says the CAG exercises exchequer control on behalf of the Parliament where the President of India declares national emergency or financial emergency. CAG reports on the execution of projects or programs by the ministries are discussed by the Public Accounts Committee. Information from CAG reports can be used by investigating agencies to press charges against those who have violated the laws while managing public finances. While dealing with audit and accounting of the government companies, CAG has certain judicial powers for prosecuting those who violated the law. So which of the statements is correct? So the answer is option B, only the second one, that is the CAG reports on the execution of projects or programs by the ministries are discussed by the Public Accounts Committee. That is the correct statement for this. Next question. Which of the following can be said to be essentially the part of inclusive governance, that is permitting the non-banking financial companies to do banking? And number 2 says establishing effective district companies planning committees in all the districts. 3, increasing the government spendings on public health. 4, strengthening the midday meal scheme. So of these 4, which is the correct statements? Answer is option number C, that is 2, 3 and 4. Okay, and as far as the first statement is concerned, that is it does not provide or does not permit the non-banking financial companies to do banking. Okay, next question. In the areas covered under the Panchayat extension to the Schedule Act 1996, which is the role of Gram Sabha? Okay, so statement 1 says Gram Sabha has the power to prevent alienation of land in the scheduled areas. Gram Sabha has the ownership of minor forest produce. Recommendation of Gram Sabha is required for granting prospecting license or mining lease for any minerals in the scheduled areas. So which one is the correct statement? So answer is option number B, that is 1 and 2, first and second statements are correct. And as far as the third statement is concerned, it is incorrect because the recommendation of Gram Sabha is required for granting prospecting license or mining lease, not for any minerals, that is only for minor minerals. Okay, in case of major minerals, it's not the case, that's why it's incorrect. Next question. The distribution of powers between center and the state in the Indian Constitution is based on the scheme provided in which of these following? That is monumental reforms, which came in the year 1909, Montagu Chelmsford reforms 1919, Government of India Act 1935, or Indian Independence Act 1947. So then this is a direct straightforward question, and the answer for this is option number C, that is the Government of India Act 1935. So in this act, basically the powers between the center and the state in the Indian Constitution is being distributed. Okay, next question. What is the difference between vote on account and interim budget? Okay, so statement 1 says the provision of a vote on account is issued by a regular government, while interim budget is a provision used by a caretaker government. And second statement says a vote on account only deals with the expenditure in the government budget, includes both expenditure and receipts. So which of the statement is correct? Only 1, only 2, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2? Answer is option number C, that is both these statements are absolutely correct in this context. Next question. Under the Constitution of India, which of the following is not a fundamental duties? Direct question. This is also one. So option 1 says to vote in public elections, to develop the scientific temper, to safeguard public property, or to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals. So which one of the following is not included in the fundamental duty of a citizen? Next, the answer is that is to vote in public election. This is not a fundamental duty, and rest all three are the fundamental duties that have been vested on the citizens of India. Okay, next question. When the annual union budget is not passed by the Lok Sabha, what is it done? That is, the budget is modified and presented again. The budget is referred to the Rajya Sabha for suggestions. The Union Finance Ministry is asked to resign, or the Prime Minister submits the resignation of Council of Ministers. So the answer is option D, that is the Prime Minister submits the resignation of Council of Ministers. So this happens in the case if an budget is not being passed in the Lok Sabha. Okay, next question. The authorization for the withdrawal of funds from the Consolidated Fund of India comes from whom? So straightforward direct question, that is who gives the authorization or permission to withdraw funds from the Consolidated Fund of India? So the answer is option number B, that is the Parliament of India. Okay, the Parliament has the authority of it. Next question. All revenues received by the Union government by way of taxes and other receipts for the conduct of government business are credited to which of the following? That is the Contingency Fund of India, Public Accounts, Consolidated Fund of India, or Deposits and Advances Funds. So the answer is option number C, that is Consolidated Fund of India. So any taxes or any receipt from the government is being credited to the Consolidated Fund of India. Next question. Consider the following: right to education, right to equal access to public services, right to food. So which of these above are human rights under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? Okay, so option are only 1 and 2, only 3, or all of this. So the answer is option number D, that is all of this, that is right to education, equal access to public services, and right to food. All are human rights under Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Okay, next question. India is home to lakhs of persons with disabilities. What are the benefits available to them under the law? First statement says free schooling till the age of 18 years in the government's run schools, preferential allotment of land for setting up businesses, ramps in public buildings. So which of the statements is correct? Only 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 3, or all of this. So the answer is option number D, that is all the statements as far as the Disabilities Act is concerned is true. Okay, next question. The Constitution, that is 73rd Amendment Act 1992, which aims at promoting the Panchayati Raj institution in the country, provides for which of the following? The statements are Constitution of District Planning Committees, State Election Commissions to conduct all Panchayat elections, establishment of Finance Commission. Okay, so which one is the correct answer? Only 1 and 2, 2 and 3, or all of this. So the answer is option number C, that is the second and the third statements are correct. And as far as the first statement is concerned, it is incorrect because the district planning committees come under the provisions of Article 243ZD, okay, which came into existence through the 74th Amendment Act, and it was not passed in the 73rd Amendment Act. Okay, so that's why it's incorrect. Next question. Which of the following authorities make recommendation to the governor of a state as to the principles for determining the taxes and duties which may be appropriated by the panchayats in that particular state? So the options are district planning committees, state finance commission, finance ministry of that state, Panchayati Raj ministry of that state. So the answer is option number B, that is state finance commission. Okay, so the state finance commission makes the recommendation to the governor of a state for determining the taxes and duties which may be appropriated by the panchayats in that particular state. Next question. With reference to Lok Adalats, which of the following is correct? Okay, so as far as the Lok Adalats are concerned, which of the statements given is correct? That is, Lok Adalats have the jurisdiction to settle the matters at pre-litigative and know those matters pending before any court. Lok Adalats can deal with matters which are civil and not criminal in nature. Every Lok Adalat consists of either serving or retired judicial officials only and not any other persons, or none of the above. So the answer is option number D, that is none of these statements are correct, because as we know, the jurisdiction of the Lok Sabha is wide and any matter falling within the jurisdiction of civil, criminal, revenue, courts or tribunal can be taken up. Okay, and if both the concerned parties agree, then the court can refer the matter to a Lok Adalat for a rather informal dispute resolution. Okay, and as you know, a Lok Adalat has the jurisdiction to settle by way of effecting compromise between the parties any matter which may be pending before any court, as well as the matter at pre-litigative stage. Okay, that is the disputes which have not been formally instituted in any court of law. Okay, so the Lok Adalat is being presided over by sitting or retired judicial officer as the chairman with 2 other members, usually a lawyer and normally a social worker. Okay, next question. So who of the following shall cause every recommendation made by the Finance Commission to be laid before each House of Parliament? Okay, this is also a direct question. That is, options are the President of India, the Speaker of Lok Sabha, the Prime Minister of India, or the Union Finance Minister. So the answer is option number A, that is the President of India. So he causes every recommendation made by the Finance Commission to be laid before each House of the Parliament. Next question. The instrument of instructions contained in the Government of India Act 1935 has been incorporated in the Constitution of India in the year 1950 as which of these following? That is, fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, extent of executive power of states, or conduct of business of the Government of India. So the answer is option number B, that is the directive principles of state policy, the DPSPs, which was known as the instrument of instructions as per the Government of India Act 1935. It was been included in the Constitution in 1950 as directive principles of state policy. Next question. With reference to the Constitution of India, consider the following. Okay, the statements are fundamental rights, fundamental duties, directive principles of state policy. So which of the above provisions in the Constitution of India are fulfilled by the National Social Assistance Program launched by the Government of India? Options are only 1, only 3, 1 and 3, or all of the above. Okay, so the answer is option number C, that is 1 and 3, that is fundamental rights and directive principles of state policies are the correct. Okay, so next question. Consider the following statements. The Supreme Court of India tenders advice to the President of India on Indian matters of law or fact. First statement says on its own initiative on matter of larger public interest. Second statement says if he seeks such an advice. Third is only if the matter related to the fundamental rights of a citizen. So of these 3 statements, which one is correct? Only 1, only 2, only 3, or 1 and 2. So the answer for this is option number B, that is only 2. Okay, so as we know, as per the Article 143, it is the power of the President to consult Supreme Court. Okay, and it includes basically if at any time it appears to the President that a question of law or fact has arisen or is likely to arise, which is of such a nature and of such public importance, then that is the expedient to obtain the opinion of the Supreme Court. Okay, upon which he may refer the question to that court for consideration, and the court may, after such hearing as it thinks, report to the President and give its opinion. Okay, and basically the President may not withstand anything in the provisions of Article 131 and refer a dispute of the kind mentioned in the said provisions to the Supreme Court for opinion, and Supreme Court shall, after such hearing as it thinks fit, report to the President its opinion thereof. Okay, so this was the last question of this part, and hopefully you might have enjoyed this video, and if you have found it useful for yourself, then please do like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you friends, thanks for watching.